When I came in and I saw this be fierce, be audacious, be bold, is wonderful to have that as a theme today and something certainly I truly believe in. And as I talk to you today from a Google perspective, hopefully there's some areas and some information that will resonate with you as well. A little bit about myself and why I'm here today. I grew up in Sydney in the Sutherland Shire. I did completely terribly in my HSC. Didn't know what I was going to do after that. My mum went and she enrolled me in a TAFE computer course, and forever grateful for her enrolling me in that. I went and did an applied science computing science degree after that, did an MBA, worked with Microsoft for 18 years around the world doing different things, and now I've been with Google for the last 4 years running the business here in Australia. And it really is a tremendously fantastic opportunity where the most exciting thing is we get to change businesses and what they're doing, how they find customers and how they grow and develop. Today in my talk, I want to talk to you a little bit about digital marketing. I mentioned the brave new world, but there is so many opportunities in digital marketing. And I go out every day and we talk to many, many businesses, and there's just not the skills in Australia as yet in the digital marketing area. As mentioned, I do love adventure travel, mountaineering and rock climbing. I'm actually heading up to the Blue Mountains this weekend to do some rock climbing with some friends, and very, very excited for that. I also am a cancer survivor and a brain tumor survivor, and having gone through that, it really changes the way you sort of think about things. And for me, I want to do things that I really enjoy. I want to make sure that whether it's at work or it's at home or other places, I'm making the most of every moment. Because when you have those moments, you think, I may not be here tomorrow. It actually makes you think about things in a very different way. And being here today and giving back in some ways is one of the things I'm actually very passionate about doing as well. So I wanted to start off a little bit of energy in the room and wake people up and a very quick quiz, but I'm going to throw some prizes out here. I'm going to get Elias to come and help me. So 3 questions, got some towels and some different stuff to hand out. So very quick, got to be fast. First person with a hand up gets the prize. All right, so the founders of Google, who were they? Over here. Larry and Sergey, very good. Awesome. They set that up in their garage. They are very good. That's a very old picture. They're both grey now. All right, how many employees? Closest 10,000 will be fine. Quick hand. At the back. 50,000. Higher. No, in a few years' time, but not yet. Over here. 100,000. That's close enough. We're at 80,000, and we're at 70,000 last year. The business is up in the middle, just here. There we go. Last question. And you can see the offices in 100 offices in 50 different countries. And we'll talk a little bit about how that's helping what we do in our mission. Our first product we launched was, on the back. Web search engine, absolutely. I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more about the web search engine and how that's really helped to transform digital marketing and the way the world is actually seeing things. So thank you for leaning into that, and we'll actually have some more fun as we go through the presentation. So if you think about when you grew up and you're at home, and I know when I was at home, the TV, it was the center of entertainment. I remember watching Daniel Boone for the first time in colour, and it was sort of like a life-changing moment. The way businesses used to connect with their customers was via the TV, via the Yellow Pages, via the newspaper on Saturday. Who remembers how big that Sydney Morning Herald used to be on a Saturday? You'd need 2 hands to pick it up. You need a big table to read it, full of ads. Now, the reality is, from that point in time to now, the world has changed completely. People aren't watching TV anymore as they used to previously. It's not the centre of entertainment. People aren't reading newspapers, and they're not going to the Yellow Pages. Actually, I had a funny meeting with, actually, we'll come back to that story later. In Australia, every year, $14 billion is spent on advertising. Half of that is now going into digital marketing. Half of that is going into the traditional media. So what that means for each of you There is a tremendous amount of money for you to make on digital marketing. Every single business in Australia, bar none, wants to do digital marketing. They've either started with digital marketing, now whether that's with Google, Facebook, Instagram, choose your channel, but everybody needs to do it. If you want to find a customer, where are they going to be? They're going to be on their smartphone. With a couple of clicks, they can be buying your product. So I want to leave you that message to think a little bit about how the world has changed. A couple of numbers. There's more people searching than ever before, and this year there'll be over 2.5 trillion, and that's a T, searches happening on the internet. People search when they want to buy something. I want to buy a new pair of shoes, I'll type it in, I'll have a look at prices, click, click, click. They're at my home. And I did that actually with a pair of Asics Kayanos. Click, 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 and I had them in a couple of days. It was amazing. 20 billion searches will happen in a month. The interesting thing is that, and this is the analysis we actually do, 15% of those searches have actually never been done before. So you might think, oh, look, everything that's been done, is there questions being asked? It's actually not the case. And continually there are new questions being asked, new things that are being searched for. Now, advertisers and companies are able to use the Google products to then target customers who are looking for similar things. And it's an incredible, incredible tool to enable you to connect and find those businesses. YouTube, has anyone used YouTube here? Has anyone not used YouTube here? It's a great place for music, how to fix things, a whole array of different channels and entertainment. If I have a grandson who's 6, and they watch YouTube videos watching other kids play with Nerf guns or unwrapping toys, and it's just like, really? But they love doing those things. In Australia alone, we have 18.5 million unique users on YouTube every month. On average, consuming more than 25 hours of YouTube content. Now, obviously, some will be more, some will be less, but on average, give or take around that level. Who can tell me what's the population of Australia? 25 million, very good. I actually have no idea who put their hand up then, but that's Elias's job. 25 million, so if you think of 25 million people in all of Australia and 18.5 million with a unique user on YouTube, that's a pretty good penetration of everybody who's out there in Australia. So if you're an advertiser and you want to connect with someone and you want to actually position your product, who's ever seen those ads that pop up in YouTube before you get the content you really want? A few of you have, yes, and you're probably so annoyed. Why is that there? Oh, you put the YouTube red, is that right? Very good. So with that, it actually helps advertisers to connect with their audience in a very targeted way. They can then understand who's watched it, what did they do with the ad, did they go through and buy, and a whole range of analytics that you never had before in the world of print or TV. So again, creating tremendous opportunities for digital marketers. Who knows who that is across the bottom? No. Who's the lady across the bottom? Kayla Itsines. Let me take 2 seconds on her. She is on the rich list now for Australia, as you probably saw. She's worth $500 million. A couple of years ago, that wasn't the case. A couple of years ago, and I was working with her at Google, she was a personal trainer in Adelaide. She had a nice clientele, but certainly it wasn't generating that's $500 million of net worth for her, as in the net rich list this week. So where did it come from? She actually built an app, a personal Sweat with Kayla, which I'm sure you're aware of. Sweat with Kayla. Thank you. And with that app, it's now there's 30 million people subscribing to it at $20 a month. Now, smart people, you can do the math. It's amazing. It's a global phenomenon, almost the #1 personal training app across the planet. How did she do it? She did it through digital marketing, connecting with people when they're searching for and needing personal trainers. $500 million is her net worth. Vuli, I want to take a second on. It's a wonderful young man who I'm quite close to now. His name's Joe Andon. He started a business when he was 19 in Brizzy. He was voted #1 business of the year last year in Brisbane. And he said, I want to sell something online, but I don't know what. So he said, I want to do something that's not already there. So he decided to go for trampolines. Big, heavy, bulky, experiential. You wouldn't think you'd sell it on the internet. Fast forward from then to now, last Christmas he sold 25,000 trampolines in the Christmas rush. He'll turn over $50 million this year, and he's 25 years old. I had dinner with him a little while ago down at Barangaroo, and I said, Joe, what's the secret? He said, it's digital marketing, it's Google. Customers get to me because I'm advertising when they're looking for trampolines. He said, I could never have succeeded going through big box retail. It wouldn't have happened. So I share these two stories with you because their stories could be your stories. Their stories, you can actually be helping other people in that journey as well. Digital marketing enables those things to happen. So from a training and enablement perspective, Google actually has a whole range of services and opportunities for you to learn. This one called the Digital Garage, that link here will absolutely share to you. There's a whole range of courses and training material that you can go through yourself. There's videos, there's exams, you can get certified, and it very much links into what we were talking about earlier, doing courses that relate to the outcomes you want to actually get. How do you work on social media? How do you drive search traffic? How do you work with YouTube? These products here will actually take you through and enable you to get some of those skills. A couple of resources, some other things that I think might be of interest to you as you think about this journey. Google has lots of data. All the search data, all the trend data, and some of these links here, they're super interesting because you can go and see what's trending. What are people searching for? And this is one of the things that Joe, actually, when he's starting his business off, people were actually searching for trampolines, but you couldn't buy them online. So all of a sudden it thought, well, there's demand for it because searches are coming in, but there's no one there fulfilling. So that was sort of an interesting connection point for him. And the last one, the Global Market Finder, is one I like, which is you can go and have a look at what the search traffic is in other countries around the world. So as you think about what you're doing here, how are people searching in other markets and what are they doing? I'm about out of time, which is very sad. I'd love to spend all day here and talk with you. The message I want to leave with you is what you've actually got here today, is this sense of being fierce, audacious, and I would say the only limitations that you have are the ones you actually put on yourself. Don't be afraid to actually ask those hard questions, to be bold and to do some of these things. And reality is, as I said earlier, there aren't the skills in digital marketing in Australia. They're just not. And you know, we hire lots of people, but I'm always talking to people and talking to companies. There's just not the skills here. So as you think about an avenue of where you'd like to go, and if you're great on social media, Facebook, Instagram, all these things, it may be something that's a great avenue for you as well, because a lot of businesses in Australia just don't have those skills. Seize the opportunity, seize the moment. This is a moment in time where the industry reshapes and reforms. If you fast forward 10 or 15 years, there'll be tons of digital marketers because that's just the way the business evolves and changes. But today there's not, and today there's a real opportunity. So with that, thank you for your time. Thank you for the attention. And actually, one last thing, I actually am growing a mustache for Movember to help I actually had prostate cancer, to actually help raise money for the research in that area. Come find me on the Movember site and help me find a cure for cancer would be great. Thank you, and back to you.